Hello and welcome to Dingoes 8, my podcast. I'm Paul.
And I'm Dave.
And this week we'll be discussing the episode Double or Nothing. Alrighty, this episode originally aired April 22nd, 2002, attracting approximately 4.39 million viewers. Alrighty, so let us start off with the old video games, which, unfortunately, is pretty light for this week.
Yeah, again, kind of remembering a bit into earlier this year, a little bit from last year. There's kind of been a whole lot of stuff that they've kind of been releasing.
Yeah,
So they could stand to slow down a little bit and not completely flood the market.
yeah, and I mean, like, in all fairness, like, within, like, a few weeks, it's going to get really busy again.
Yeah.
But this particular week, the only game we have is on April 22nd on the PS2. If you really wanted to, you could pick up a copy of 2002 FIFA World Cup.
Oh, there you go. More soccer.
Yeah, I mean, that's someone's jam. Alrighty, so number one song in America this week. Any guesses?
Again, just from the discussion. Man, it's there, but I just can't remember the names. Ashanti, I believe.
Yes,
Yeah, it's,
it is the song Foolish by Ashanti, yes.
yeah, there it is.
Alrighty, and finally, the number one movie in America this week.
Hmm, again with movies. Uh, Again, there was the one, but whether or not that had the staying power is the question. Uh, Again, trying to remember with other particular films that came out around the same time as that one. Not a lot that we have already discussed or probably wouldn't be counting as the number one at the time. Yeah, just be safe and stick with the Scorpion King from last week.
It is still The Scorpion King. The Rock is the number one box office draw for a second week in a row.
Oh, there you go. They somewhat discovered something.
It will get shattered next week.
Not surprising, but again, your wording shattered.
Oh, that's not a hint. My hint will be this next movie is directly responsible for a current tradition in the comic book world called Free Comic Book Day.
Interesting.
Yes.
In the case of I may know it, but I might not know it, but I think I know it.
2002 is kind of a weird year, though, because there's a couple of movies that it could be.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, anyway, moving right along to the episode. Alright, so Gunn and Fred look through Wesley's files. Gunn finds them bewildering. Sometimes he can't even pronounce the client's name. One file, for example, is a demon couple named Frizilka, who have a squatter in their lair. Lauren comes downstairs and joins the conversation, and the three discuss that Angel won't come out of his room, and although his rage seems to have passed, the three would rather leave him be. Suddenly, Cordelia and the Gruslug return from their vacation in Mexico bearing gifts, only to be greeted by everyone's solemn faces. Cordelia immediately knows that something terrible has happened.
Oh, yeah, just to wait until they give you the story.
You have no idea. Cordelia goes upstairs to comfort Angel, who is brooding by Connor's empty crib. At a casino, Jenoff, a demon in a tuxedo with a bow tie who owns the place, hands a marker to one of his enforcers. It's time to collect his soul, says Jenoff. The marker is a business card for Angel investigations. Gunn and Fred interview the Frizlakas, an elderly demon couple married for 300 years, and they are the best.
Yes, just taking. It's a typical sort of design for an older, elderly couple having a knowledgeable wife, but I wouldn't quite say senile, but kind of questioning old man, but just their quips, the funny little comments that they make about all the things is just, it's good.
I love how
It's always nice to see.
they're bickering, but it's in this very adorable way. Like I forget what she says, but she says something like, "Oh, he has a phobia of bile," and he's like, "No, I don't. I have a phobia of," and then it's something else that's very very similar. But he's like, "Technically, you're wrong," and it's very
Yes.
good.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, she, like I think she says like, "You have a phobia of bile," and he's like, "No, I have a phobia of sputum."
Yes.
It's great.
Hmm.
A Skench demon has occupied their house. Skench demons make loud noises and project streams of phlegm to drive other demons out of their lair. Well, that would friggin' do it.
Yeah.
Gunn and Fred promise to remove the Skench demon that day. Fred visits Wesley at the hospital and brings him some things from his office. Wesley cannot speak, but Fred tells him that while Angel was wrong to try and kill him, Angel was nonetheless right to blame him for Connor's disappearance. She tells him that they're supposed to be his friends, yet he chose to go behind their backs and turn to Holtz over trusting them. She adds that Wesley is no longer welcome at the hotel, and Angel will kill him if he ever returns. As she leaves, she tells him that the prophecy was false, and Wesley is left with the painful truth that he sacrificed everything for nothing. Excuse me. Jenoff's enforcer appears at Angel Investigations. He meets the Gruslug, whom he mistakes for Angel. Gunn finds the Frizzlux home in a cave leading off a sewer. He quickly kills the Skench demon, but when he rises, he sees Jenoff's enforcer. In a flashback, 7 years earlier, Gunn enters Jenoff's casino, accompanied by Gangster's Paradise by Coolio.
Yeah, I suppose if you have to kind of introduce a particular place in the episode, it never hurts.
I was very happy when I heard that because I forgot that song made an appearance, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm happy with this." After first king by Jenoff's enforcer, Gunn speaks with the man himself. Who recognizes him, and knows his reputation as a protector of the young and innocent. Gunn hands Jenoff a photograph of his heart's desire. Jenoff says that he can make it happen, but it will cost Gunn his future. Gunn, thinking he has no future, agrees and signs a blood oath. At the Frizzlock's lair, the Repo Man tells Gunn it's time to pay up. The casino watches the Akashic records and knows that Gunn plans to transfer his soul to Fred, which would violate their contract with Jenoff. Gunn has 24 hours to report to the casino and deliver his soul. If Gunn reneges, Jenoff will take Fred's soul as well as Gunn's. Gunn returns to Angel Investigations, where he meets Cordelia, who advises him to take a day off and go on a date with Fred. The next morning, Gunn brings Fred breakfast in bed. He tells her that they both have the day off and that he intends that they should have the best day of their lives together. At the hospital, a doctor informs Wesley that he'll be released and asked if Wesley has someone who can pick him up. Wesley remains silent, knowing that because of his actions, he now has no friends left. Angel and Cordelia reflect on the loss of Connor and what it means. Gunn and Fred are eating at a garden restaurant. Fred says she is full, but Gunn wants to fill the afternoon with movies, shopping, and a roller rink. Fred says that she's kind of wiped. Gunn is afraid that he is trying too hard. Suddenly, Fred guesses that something is wrong. She asks Gunn if he has leukemia, which makes him laugh. Now she guesses that something is wrong and asks Gunn to tell her the truth. Gunn, knowing that she won't leave the subject alone, otherwise pretends to be suddenly angry and tells her they are through and storms off. Cordelia tells Angel that the hurt he is feeling will never go away and that he will continue to love and miss his son always, even if he lives another 200 years. Angel says that he doesn't know how he will get through it, and she assures him that the how will work itself out, and regardless of what's happened, life will go on, and the helpless will still need help. Just then, the two hear sobbing through the door, and Cordy opens to find Fred in tears over what happened. Fred says that she doesn't know where else to go, and she didn't want to knock and interrupt them. Angel asks Fred what's wrong, and she explains everything that happened with Gunn. At the casino, Jenoff, standing on a mezzanine, sticks two fingers in a man's eyes. This is how he will take a person's soul. Downstairs, Gunn appears and tells the Repo Man that he is there to pay his bill. In the lobby of the Hyperion Hotel, Fred explains that Gunn would only hurt her if he knew it were necessary to protect her, so he must be in danger. Cordelia and the Gruslog are doubtful, but Angel says he intends to help Gunn and doesn't want to lose another member of the family. Wesley returns to his apartment alone. The Angel Investigations team makes plans to find Gunn. The Gruslug produces the business card that the Repo Man left with him Angel knows Genoff, whom he calls the Soul Sucker. At the casino, Genoff's latest victim is hauled away. The Repo Man brings Gunn to Genoff. As Genoff is about to insert his fingers in Gunn's eyes, the Angel Investigations team bursts in. They are soon surrounded by both casino customers and Genoff's henchmen, all hostile. Genoff orders his henchmen to kill them. Angel interrupts the slaughter by offering Genoff a double or nothing bet in which Genoff might win Angel's soul as well as Gunn's. Fred is unhappy with the wager. Angel promises that he will not lose. Then hands Cordelia a stake, telling her that she knows what to do if he loses. At the card table, Angel proposes a simple cut of the deck, high card winning. Genoff pulls the 9 of clubs. Angel pulls the 3 of hearts. Cordelia then stakes Genoff's hand to the table, and Angel chops his head off with an axe. Genoff immediately sprouts a new head. Angel shouts, anybody else here owe this guy? Which causes the whole crowd to attack Genoff. In the melee, the Angel Investigations team escapes. Sitting in Gunn's truck, Fred and Gunn make up. Fred asks for whom Gunn traded his soul. He explains that he traded his soul for the truck. Angel disassembles Connor's crib while Cordelia watches, and credits roll. Alrighty. So that was that episode.
Indeed. So, still kind of counts as a bit of a throwaway episode. The real plot and everything in it didn't really need to be there, but at the very least they had the 2 main key points of Angel is still upset, but somewhat moving on from the incidences that have happened, and Wesley is now asserting himself in the role of, oh god, I fucked up royally.
Yes, and we also kind of get some stuff with Cordelia and Angel here that I feel like that's important as well.
Indeed. Just the case of she really is kind of turned into a real decent rock within the group, especially with Angel just at least being there for him.
Yeah.
Especially in this sort of situation.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good episode. Like you said, there's maybe not a ton of super important plot stuff in this one, but
nevertheless, it was still good to sort of shift away a little bit away of the, oh man, everything is fucked, to kind of the cases of, oh man, let's have this happy situation with the context of, oh god, I'm gonna die. I think at the very most with this particular episode was just at the end, I wasn't surprised that it was the case of it was for his truck and all the other particular stuff from there, but if I was in Fred's shoes, God, I would slap him in the face and like, you idiot. It makes perfect sense, but still, you idiot.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's a fun episode, but like, and it is kind of nice to actually have an episode that kind of features Gunn heavily, because he often doesn't get like highlight episodes.
That's true. The only other one was his other big mess up he did earlier on in the series.
Yeah, but we don't get a ton of him getting to lead an episode, so this was nice.
Indeed. And I think the other thing, sadly swaying away from Gunn, is just Angel's entire gambit that he decided to go with. Just like, he thought this through, and you figured he'd have a plan, but no, he was just throwing this up to luck, and it's like, well, luck didn't work. Cordelia, stake him.
I mean, that's kind of what Angel just does, though.
True.
Yeah. So, a little bit of trivia here that's kind of interesting. So, Angel tells Cordelia that Connor was going to be a southpaw for sure, so left-handed. I wonder if we'll ever get confirmation of this. Now, so for international titles for this episode, in French, it just translates as Double or Nothing. And in German, it translates as Payday.
Yeah, I'm not too sure with the German one. Kind of saying Payday was kind of like, oh, big score, all the money sort of situations instead of the, oh, you owe a debt, you're gonna die.
Yes. Alrighty, now if there's nothing else about this episode, next week we'll be discussing the episode The Price.
Of course, because we're started this particular money-oriented sort of titling. We got to keep going with it at least one more episode.
Alrighty. So, while Angel tries to deal with the loss of his son, the hotel is invaded by lobster-sized, transparent, centipede-like creatures that invade and drive their human hosts, byproducts of the dark magic that Angel performed to turn Sojama corporeal. Angel, Cordelia, Gruselug, Lauren, Gunn, and Fred must remain inside the building to fight the creatures so that they will not escape into the world. So it's going to be more of a standalone episode.
This is kind of a... What was the title for it? Kind of a...
Bottle episode.
With this?
Bottle episode, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yes, it's so for those of you who don't know, a bottle episode is something that writers and producers will do because basically how it works is the network gives them a chunk of money and says, you have to, for this money, give us 22 episodes. So the way is you do a bottle episode because in theory they're much cheaper, so that means that you can spend that money, you can spend more money on another episode. That's basically how that works. So, yes, and they are definitely planning some big stuff in the next few episodes.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised. It's another 5-ish or so episodes, I believe, until the end of the series.
Or end
of the season, excuse me.
So we have 4 episodes left in the season.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say the episode after the price, there will be a major return. But I'm not going to say any more than that. And it's not who you're expecting. So, until next time, I've been Paul.
And I've been Dave.